Sharks versus tourists in shallow water, a predator falling asleep with hypnosis, fish jumping onto boats, shark feeding death-defying act, and more. In this episode, you'll see the craziest, most unusual, and interesting shark moments caught on camera. Let's go! Let's start with this shot, in which we see a busload of tourists who got into trouble. As they were passing by the water, they were attacked by a great white shark. Do you think that's possible? On the one hand, sharks attack boats, but buses are clearly not their specialty. On the other hand, these predators are unpredictable, so anything can happen. Anyway, write in the comments, what do you think about it? And we move on to an equally close encounter featuring a shark. I would even say it's even closer and more dangerous, because the diver found himself one-on-one with a terrible tiger shark right in the water. You can see that the predator's determined. It swims up to the diver, but turns around when it sees the harpoon. It makes a second approach, but the diver pulls out another harpoon, and the fish finally decides not to mess with him. And it's a good thing it did. After all, everyone is unharmed in the end. Is it possible to get an even closer encounter with a shark? Of course. See for yourself. A dangerous and aggressive great white shark came within inches of a man with a camera. He managed to film its terrible mouth full of sharp teeth and an attempt to bite him. By the way, it was filmed in the waters of Gansbaai in South Africa. It's full of sharks, which often attack people. Keep in mind. After this, many people will prefer not to swim too far into the sea, but it's not safe in shallow water either. The shark swam to people who were only in waist-deep water and then rushed to them. Fortunately, it did not continue to attack and the tourists managed to escape, but the moment was tense. I think those tourists didn't go swimming anymore that day. It turns out that you shouldn't even be in waist-deep water, but can you at least be in ankle-deep water? Only at your own risk, because you can run into a shark even at the water's edge. Here's what it looks like. All vacationers were forced to go on land, so the shark didn't injure anyone. In fact, it certainly didn't want to swim in there. It was probably there by accident, like when whales are beached. Hopefully it was helped back to deeper water. After all these videos, it seems that it's better not to go into the sea at all. Well, or at least you should do it in something protected, for example, in a cage. But even so, no one can hide from sharks. Take a look at how these guys went down in a cage just to look at sharks peacefully, and in the end they got a whole bunch of adrenaline. A great white shark stuck its snout into them and tried to get to them, but quickly realized it was a bad idea. Real sharks are loners. You can often see one individual swimming apart from everyone else. Well, or a few sharks, but that's the maximum. But what about a whole pack of these predators? I'm sure you've never seen such a thing. Although I was a bit hasty with the word pack. A diver managed to capture an entire army of hammerhead sharks off the Galapagos Island. What's especially amazing is that the hammerhead shark is a species on the verge of extinction, and recently divers have been seeing them less and less often, even swimming alone. This fact makes this footage even more incredible. You have to be really brave to be in the midst of so many predators and stay calm. But you have to be even braver to shake hands with a shark as this diver did. And it was a large bull shark, which is considered the most aggressive of all shark species. These fish are unpredictable, and there were a lot of them. So if that predator had attacked, its congeners would have supported it in the battle with the divers. The sharks would have bitten the divers and wouldn't let them go, just like this one. Look at this little shark clinging to this guy. It's not a shark anymore, it's a leech, and its grip is completely abnormal. The original video is over 5 minutes long, and even at the end of the video, the guy's still with the shark on his body. Why isn't he in pain? Because he's got a nurse shark clinging to him. That's the actual name of it. Even by the name, it's clear that the shark is not dangerous, and it is. The species has very small teeth but powerful jaws, so they suck rather than bite. And in general, they're often called sea puppies. They're just as kind and curious. For example, in this video, a nurse shark swims up to a diver to befriend him. And this sea puppy follows the diver everywhere and just watches him. I wish all sharks were like that. But unfortunately, the ocean is full of dangerous sharks who are not interested in making friends with divers. This is one of them, a tiger shark. It swims towards the diver, tries to eat the bait, but the diver won't let it do it. Is he crazy? No, he just wants to show us a cool hypnosis trick. Watch as he flips the dangerous shark over and briefly subdues it. Surprisingly, it actually works with tiger sharks. Professional divers touch the face of the fish, turn it belly up, and the shark's in a trance. If in its normal state the tiger shark can attack anyone and eat anyone and anything, then in this state it's harmless. With such a clever trick, it can be disconnected from reality, even for a few minutes. If someone asked me which shark would be the biggest star, I'd say the whale shark, and I'd show them this clip. Look how many people are gathered around and over this fish. They have nothing to fear. The whale shark is not predatory, doesn't eat large prey, and doesn't attack people. But all people are very interested to check it out live because it's the largest modern shark. Even fish are fascinated by the whale shark. Look how this huge superstar moves in the company of its fans. They literally surrounded it from all sides, and the whale shark has nowhere to go. Because of its huge size, these huge creatures swim very slowly, so they can't get away from the fans. And sometimes whale sharks come up to the surface to greet people and to ask them for some food. This diver is not averse to feeding the shark, and it likes it very much. The kind fish even began to bite its new friend, purely out of love, of course. Such bites are not dangerous at all because the teeth of whale sharks are tiny, not like those of the creepy great white sharks and tiger sharks. For putting on such a show, the fish was fed well. Remember that diver from the beginning of the episode who defended himself from the shark with harpoons? That's not as epic. Defending yourself with your fist is way cooler. Look how that woman chased the shark away with her fist. I don't think she or the shark saw that coming. Just imagine yourself in the shark's shoes. You're a dangerous, fearsome predator with sharp teeth, and you're scared off with a light blow? Joking aside, it's lucky that the shark just swam away because it could have retaliated. These guys are real thrill seekers because right now they're jumping from the yacht to the sharks. The jump is done, the water dissipates, and we see one of the sharks. Why is it so calm? It's been disturbed after all. Don't you recognize it? It's a nurse shark. Today you've already seen that these sea puppies are not dangerous and can only strongly stick to a person. Here's the opposite situation. A shark jumped out of the water and went straight to the people. A dangerous mako shark got on a boat and started wriggling and then got stuck in the railing. Don't worry, no one was hurt, and the shark was eventually returned to its home waters. In fact, mako sharks often surprise fishermen and sailors by jumping onto their boats. They're too fond of jumping out of the water like whales or dolphins. While some sharks just jump onto boats, others try to eat them. Well, or at least taste them. That's exactly what the great white shark in this video did. People were boating somewhere, they saw a shark underwater and immediately pulled out their phones. The shark realized that filming had started, swam up, and got its moment of fame. The predator hit the boat and then bit it. Sharks, of course, can eat a lot of things, but they can't eat metal. So the fish swam away quickly. I guess that shark was hungry enough to try to eat the boat. They should have fed it with regular food, something like this. But seriously, that diver deserves respect. Imagine how brave you have to be feed a shark from your hands and hold its head in your hands so it doesn't bite you. And here a whole team of divers set up a bull shark feeding operation. The main team distracts the sharks to turn around and swim in the right direction to the food, and the feeder gives them a treat right from his hands. The sharks didn't say thank you for the snack. One of them almost hit the diver with its tail at all. But everyone got a lot of emotions, and this is the main thing. No matter how professional a diver you are, I think it's still scary to be around a shark, especially if it's aggressive like this one. It circles around divers and literally bumps into them. This predator as if looking for a fight, which it will certainly win. Besides, there are plenty of other sharks. In fact, the divers wrote that these sharks were just being curious, but at the same time, they added that shark curiosity can turn into aggression at any time. Luckily, that didn't happen. Next, I'll show you even more dangerous and creepiest shark moments. It's worth seeing. Cage diving with sharks has been gaining in popularity lately. One would think who in their right minds would want to plunge into the ocean directly to dangerous sharks, albeit in a safe cage. Is it so reliable? This great white shark spotted the cage and tried to chew on it. The bars were too strong for its teeth, so it was a narrow escape this time. But am I the only one confused by the long distance between the bars? Couldn't a shark stick its head in there and bite the divers? This predator, on the other hand, is more determined. It rammed and crashed into the cage with the diver. Seems that the distance between the bars is normal after all. The head doesn't fit through. But personally, I still wouldn't go down in such a cage to those toothy monsters. What about you? Write in the comments. This guy just wanted to film a kook jumping off a cliff in the waters of Australia. The jump was great. The guy didn't hit his body and successfully dived out, only to hear his friends yelling, "Shark!" He didn't believe them, dove in again, and indeed saw a shark in front of him. The monster swam a few meters away from him. The guy panicked and immediately swam to the shore, but the shark wasn't going anywhere and once again made her presence felt. Fortunately, it only frightened the guy but never attacked him. Some people dive to sharks by pure chance and some do it on purpose, like the man from this video. He was swimming in the sea with his friend. He saw sharks and decided to jump to them. Why? He thought they were non-predatory basking sharks that fed on plankton and were safe for humans. However, only in the middle of his swim he realized that he'd fallen into the lair of predatory sharks. He had to get out of the trap. Here's a slightly similar case. A diver was diving off the coast of South Africa just to shoot some underwater views, but suddenly encountered a great white shark. It swam right by him. Unlike the previous protagonist of the episode, the diver had a harpoon to repel the attack. But believe me, it doesn't always help. It was lucky that the shark was in a good mood. The man dived out and immediately started shouting to his friends that there was a big shark in the water. But sometimes contacts with sharks do happen. Not all of them simply swim past the divers. For example, this diver was not aware of the shark's presence in these waters at all until the predator bit him. The shark hit him on the back of the head. That was the end of it. Maybe the predatory fish was sending a message to the divers to get the hell out of here. Otherwise, next time it might hit the diver on the back of his head with his sharp teeth. This footage was taken in the waters of Fiji. The divers decided to admire the beautiful underwater world, different fish, corals, and so on. Among all this diversity, they did not immediately see a tiger shark, one of the most dangerous sharks in the world. It appeared at the very last second and already opened its mouth to attack one of the divers. But his colleague quickly reached and shoveled a stick in its mouth. This distracted the shark. The diver managed to dodge and escaped. After all this footage I saw, my desire to get in the water tends to zero. But it's much more dangerous when a shark attacks a kayaker. Kayaks are quite small, and the kayaker literally sits on the water, so they hardly have a reliable defense against a shark attack. Here's a great confirmation of that. A shark, though a small one, attacked the green kayak. The man tried to throw the shark off, but ended up losing his own balance and fell right to the predator. Luckily, there was a boat, to which the man immediately swam to save his life. And here the situation's much more serious. A great white shark deals with the kayaker. It smelled that the kayaker caught some fish and decided to steal the catch. To do this, the shark hit the back of the kayak with all its might and immediately flipped it over. The man immediately returned back because there were no boats nearby. He managed to survive and not even get any damage, but he experienced a real shock. You can't hide from sharks anywhere. I'm not even talking about fishing boats. Even large boats and ships are no obstacle for particularly aggressive and fast sharks like the mako shark. Here it is. It flew out of the water at full speed, flew into the boat, and got stuck in the railing of the side. Predator was trapped and tried to get free, but to no avail. Witnesses could only watch as the vicious shark stared right into their souls and wanted to eat them. But even such dangerous creatures need help. Crew members tied a rope to the tail of the mako shark and lowered the creature into the water. That shark was unlucky. It didn't reach its target. But do not underestimate the mako shark. They jump very cool and sometimes get right on the deck, as in this case with the fishermen who were catching one fish and got quite another. All of a sudden, a mako shark literally flew onto their boat. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the flying shark was soon brought back into the water. Let's get back in the water again, in the shark's native habitat. In this video, though, it's not the shark's native habitat because it takes place in an artificial aquarium at the Dubai Mall, one of the largest shopping and entertainment centers in the world. The divers voluntarily dived in to find themselves in the same water as a real shark. Believe me, there's no editing here. The shark is very real. I don't know what's scarier, the fact that divers take such a risk swimming with this monster, or the fact that the mall management allows volunteers to dive to dangerous sharks. Although it's not that bad though, in that video there was a sand tiger shark, which is considered non-aggressive and almost never attacks people. That cannot be said for the bull shark, which on the contrary is considered the most aggressive and dangerous to humans. You can also see it in the river. These guys in a kayak came across a bull shark during an ordinary rafting trip. And of course, you can see it in the sea. In this footage, a bull shark makes an attack on a diver. Could have been fatal if not for the harpoon the guy used to protect himself. Don't worry about the shark. When these critters suffer significant damage, their brains block out the pain. Besides, the wound is probably not very serious for such a giant, and it's long since healed. By the way, have you ever noticed that the bull shark can be found literally in any body of water? That's because it lives perfectly well in both fresh and salt water. The world of sharks is amazing, so I suggest you get to know it even closer. Keep watching to see the largest and smallest shark, mutant shark, and the rarest shark species in the world. The great white shark, the tiger shark, the bull shark, all these creatures are very large, but none of them compare to the whale shark in terms of size. This is the largest shark in the world, reaching at least 39 feet in length, although it can grow up to 66 feet. These creatures are harmless and safe. They swim at a slow speed, eat on plankton, and do not attack divers. Moreover, whale sharks like people. They let them swim with them, touch them, and even ride them on their backs. And this is the exact opposite. We used to think of sharks as huge creatures, but the dwarf lantern shark proves that sharks can be very different. This is the smallest shark in the world, which can even fit in your hand because it only grows to 8 inches in length. It's very difficult to see these babies in nature. Scientists have observed these sharks only a few times because they live at great depths, from 1,000 to 1,600 feet. Like many deep-sea creatures, dwarf lantern sharks have bioluminescent features. They have a photophore, an organ that emits light located on the underside of the body. The dwarf lantern shark produces light to attract prey and becomes invisible to predators that swim below it. The glowing belly disguises the shark's silhouette when viewed from above. The dwarf lantern shark can rightly be called unusual, but there are other unusual sharks in the world. For example, the blunt-nosed six-gill shark. This is a large and mysterious species of shark, which is compared to dinosaurs. This is because over the past 200 million years, these sharks haven't changed at all. But still, mutant sharks are much more unusual. Over the past few years, they've been caught in a variety of places around the world. Two-headed sharks and cyclops sharks have been found in Florida, Mexico, and Venezuela. There are more and more of them. Scientists believe the cause is a gene disorder, but could the real cause be something else? It seems that nowadays it's even easier to find a mutant shark than a megamouth shark. This is because scientists consider it to be the rarest species in the world. Since the discovery of this species in 1976, less than 100 individuals have been found and caught. Because of this, it's almost unrealistic to study the species. But scientists have still managed to find out something. It's known that megamouth shark is one of the largest sharks in the world, that it lives in shallow bays at depths of 16 to 130 feet, and in the open sea at depths of up to 5,000 feet, and that it's found mainly in the southern hemisphere. We can only hope that megamouth sharks will not become extinct in the near future, and that scientists will still be able to study them properly. That's all, guys. Have you ever seen sharks in person? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.